Hi, everybody. Welcome back to my channel, Numbers with Nora. This is where you can ask any kind of math question that you like, and I will help you out. Just recently, I had a math 2D ask me to recap on systems of equations. So I solved one of her math problems, and we're going to sit there and focus on that. So for this one, it's asked to sit there and solve negative 3x plus y equals 8 minus x plus y equals negative 2. I'm going to show you 3 ways how to solve this. Elimination by eliminating x, elimination by eliminating y, and then also a bonus one. If you don't know to go to elimination first, then you can use substitution. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump right into it. So if you sit there and look at this and you don't know to use elimination first, that's what comes to me because you don't have any of your variables already solved by themselves, like a y equals or an x equals. So we have to sit there and use elimination. That's what I would think of. So using x, I would sit there and say, what can I sit there and add to negative 3 to sit there and cancel it out and just get rid of my x? One thing we can do, negative 3 plus positive 3 would cancel out my x. That's a good way to do it, right? So I want to sit there and find a way to make this negative x positive 3. A way I can make that negative x right here positive 3 is multiply it by negative 3. But what I do to one term in that bottom equation, I have to do to every term in that bottom equation. So that negative 3 has to hit each and every one. So this top one's just going to come along for the ride. So I have negative 3x plus y equals 8. All right. And now we're going to sit there and distribute that negative 3 to each one. So negative 3 times negative x is going to be 3x. Then negative 3 times y is going to be negative 3y. And then negative 3 times negative 2 is going to be positive 6 because a negative times a negative, they cancel out. Now I can go ahead and go down and listen to my rules and cancel these out. So negative 3 plus positive 3, that's going to cancel out. Perfect. Y minus 3y, or it could be 1 minus 3y. 1 minus 3. And if you're confused with signs, I'll do a different video for that. But if you're confused with signs, just think of hopping 3 backwards from 1. That's going to give you negative 2y. And then 8 plus 6, that's going to give you 14. Now I'm still trying to solve for my y variable so I can have that. My negative 2 is being multiplied by my y. That's a coefficient of y. I want to get rid of that coefficient. I want my y all by itself. So I do the opposite of multiplication, which is division. And divide both sides by negative 2. The negative 2 cancel out. I get y equals a positive divided by a negative is going to be negative. 14 divided by negative 2, that's going to give you negative 7. Now, remember when we're doing systems of equations, that's almost like we're finding a point on our coordinate, our x and our y coordinate. So we just found our y, but I want to sit there and write it as a coordinate point. So I sit there and put negative 7. Okay. Now we still have to find our x coordinate. To find our x coordinate, we go back and we plug it into either equation 1 or equation 2. For this one, I'm going to sit there and plug into this equation and make sure you plug it into your original equation, not your manipulated equation. All right. So then if I plug it into this equation, equation 2, I'm going to get negative x. We already found our y, right? So that's going to be minus 7 because it's negative equals negative 2. Right now I'm solving for x because that's what I need to find right here. So I add 7 to both sides. All right. Now this right here is just basic algebra. Oops, sorry, that 7's a little ugly. This negative x is just coming along for the party. These 7's cancel out. Now I'm going to get 5. Again, I want my x to be totally isolated. Right now I have negative x, which means it has a coefficient of -1. I divide both sides by that because I want to get rid of that negative. I want my x all by itself, right? So 5 divided by -1 is going to give me -5. All right. And that's the answer to this question. When you're finding systems of equations, you're finding where those two lines intersect. All right, so you would graph that. That'd be 1 on your x value, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think, and then down 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sorry if my counting is a little wrong, but I'm not going to do graphing on this video. I'm just worrying about like solving. All right. So if you didn't know to eliminate the x variable first, you could have been like, hey, I want to eliminate the y. You can totally do that. Right. So I want to sit there and find a way to eliminate my y. I look at my second equation. I think, hey, if I had a negative y down here, then my y's would cancel out because I have a plus 1y. And if I sit there and have a negative 1y, then they would cancel out. So I can sit there and multiply my bottom equation by a -1. Now you can write the 1 if you want, or you can just write a negative. It's up to you. But remember that -1 has to hit each and every one of your terms in your equation. Okay. So I write down -3x plus y equals 8. From there, I just distribute this through. -1 times -x is just going to be +1x or just x. Okay. -1 times positive y, that's going to be -y, which we wanted. And then -1 times -2, that's just going to be a +3. What am I saying? Sorry. That's going to be -1 times a -2 is going to be a +2. Okay. Now I'm safe to go ahead and go down and add these equations. So -3, sorry, subtract them. -3 plus 1, that's going to be -2x. Those cancel out. That's just 0. I'm going to leave that alone and not write that 0 there. This is going to become 8 plus 2 is 10. Remember that x I want all by itself. Right now it has a coefficient of -2. That -2 is being multiplied by x, so I do the opposite of multiplication, which is division. So I divide both sides by -2. All right. So now I have my x equals -5. Awesome. Right. So that is very similar, and we know we're on the right track because when I sat there and did up here, I got the same thing. My x was -5, right? And then again, if we want to find our y variable, we always plug into our original equation up here. I like to pick the bottom one is just a little bit easier because I don't have to deal with the 3 and stuff. So let's plug it into here. So now I have that I'm plugging into the negative. I'm writing the original equation just so you understand. You have to plug it into the original equation. Okay. Oops. Sorry. I just stay in the call. All right. So everywhere I see an x, I'm going to put in my -5. So I like to put parentheses when I have two negatives to remind me when you multiply two negatives together, they cancel out. And then plus y. And that's going to equal -2. Right? Those negatives cancel out. Negative times a negative is a positive. So 5 plus y equals -2. I subtract that 5 from both sides because I want my y to be all by itself. And then I'm going to get y equals -7. All right. So we got the same answer by using elimination. Doesn't matter if you want to eliminate your x or your y, you can determine which one you want to do based on how easy or what you see. All right. So the last one, if you didn't think elimination and you're just like super, super comfortable with substitution, and usually substitution is used when you sit there and get one variable by itself. So if I looked at this, I'm not comfortable with elimination. I would be like, man, I really wish my x or my y was by itself. I would look at the second equation again because it's so simple. It doesn't have many coefficients. I would be like, hey, I can get my y all by itself, right? So if I can rewrite this and just have the top just come along for the party, 3x plus y equals 8. But for this one right here, if I add that x to both sides, I add it to both sides because I want my y to be all by itself, then I'm going to get y equals x minus 2. Because right here, those x's cancel out, but you have to sit there and make sure that positive x is on both sides. Now I can sit there everywhere I see a y in this equation or in this equation, I will sit there and substitute an x minus 2. All right. So I'll sit there and write it out for this video, but in the comments below, if you need more help or you want me to finish doing this video and how to solve this, let me know. And from here, you would solve for x. Okay. Again, I want to sit there and thank you guys for watching my channel. If you need any math help or any questions on any type of math, let me know. Thank you guys.